Well, here we are at the 2022 NFL Draft, and I famously said years ago that Sam Howell was going to be the number one pick in this draft by the Detroit Lions. They didn't end up with the number one pick. Well, they still end up with the quarterback, though. That is the big question. We are the Sportsocracy, and this is our post-free agency 7-round mock draft for the Detroit Lions, who have the number 2 pick overall in this 2022 NFL Draft.
And I firmly believe they would love to get out of this pick. The problem is that nobody wants it. I've been told every team in the top 10 has at some point tried to get out except the New York Jets. There's not a quarterback that you can take this high. So the question is, who do you fall in love with? And from what I have been told, there is one player that the Detroit Lions are in love with.
Well, from the Ingles studio here, number 2 pick overall in the NFL Draft, Drake London, the wide receiver out of USC. Feels like a little bit of a reach.
It's not.
Is this your love for Drake London shadowing this?
I told you when this started, that will be the number 1 receiver taken in this class. I said it about Amon-Ra St. last year. Of that's going to be the guy that you look at and go, oh, we fucked that up. Well, the difference between last year and this year, I'm not the only one that figured it out. Amon-Ra St. was great. Plays out of the slot a lot for Detroit. You got DJ Chark on one side. That's a 1-year guy. I don't look for DJ Chark to be around for more than a year. I think he's going to get very, very expensive. The comp on Drake London has been Mike Evans, and it's happened a lot. Let me ask you a question. If you believe Drake London is Mike Evans, which I do, is it a reach at 2?
No.
Okay.
Not at all.
Everybody wants to talk about them taking Aiden Hutchinson. The only reason you think that is because he played at Michigan. That's it. Of all the positions on this team that are reasonably settled, pass rusher is one of the only ones you got.
Well, and the
with Aquara and Charles Harris.
But also the evaluators and the mock drafters have conditioned everybody to think that there are only 3 or 4 choices right there for those top picks. They're all edge rushers or they're all offensive linemen.
And here's the thing. I've said this about Aiden Hutchinson 100 times. Many of us think he's a good stand-up double. I can't tell you that he will ever live up to the number 2 pick. I can't tell you Drake London's going to live up to the number 2 pick. There is a possibility that he's going to struggle to separate in the NFL. The only thing is he's 6'5", strong as hell, and great at the point of attack. I value him and Mike Evans. I went back and looked to the year Evans came out. I graded them the exact same.
Really?
I said the exact same shit about the 2 of them. And the more I thought that, the more I went, I know Detroit likes him. I know that for a fact. They would like to move down. You better not move down far. Because I'll tell you right now, he will not get past the Atlanta Falcons at 8. The Falcons like Matt Corral enough that you're not going down far. I don't know that he would fall past the Jets at 4. The Jets love somebody. And every person I talk to, I throw a name out there like, nope, not him.
Right.
Okay, running out of ideas. So that would be, if I'm the Detroit Lions, my goal is I am in a talent accumulation mode. Drake London is a talent. I feel very sure I know what he is, and he's a starter for you for 10 years.
Yep. And in case you're unaware, Mike Evans started his career pretty well down in Tampa Bay with 8 straight 1,000-yard seasons, something nobody's ever done before. So if Drake London's in that neighborhood, number 2, not a bad deal.
Well, I mean, just think about it. You've already got the offensive line. That would give you the receiving corps because DJ Chark, Amon-Ra St. DJ Hawkinson, and Drake London, that's pretty damn good. And with Jamal Williams and DeAndre Swift, you're pretty good at running back. What does that leave? There's one thing you still need.
Quarterback. Yeah.
It's funny. You have 2 first-round picks.
We do have 2 first-round picks. We do. We got that pick at number 32. So with the 32nd overall pick in the draft, and possibly getting the guarantee of that 5th-year option on a quarterback, Sam Howell out of the University of North Carolina. I just had the wrong bookend pick of the first round.
Yeah, you had him as the first pick. He's actually the last pick of the first round. I'm sure people will go, we would wait a year on a quarterback. Would you?
Not if it was this one.
Would you? Because this is my number 1 quarterback in this class. Tell me what you would need to improve your offense if you did this. Now, your defense, you got problems there. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that you don't.
Right.
Offensively, this fixes a lot.
Yeah, you're sure.
And all right, if Sam Howell's not ready to start week 1, you still got Jared Goff. You can get out of that deal next year as a post-June 1 cut, save $25 million. $5 million dead cap hit. You telling me you wouldn't take that risk?
Oh, I would.
And I got news for you. I'm not the only one that has Sam Howell at number one. If you listen to Dan Patrick, his draft source, which it could be the janitor at the DP show, I don't fucking know, said this morning, there are a lot of people falling in love with Malik Willis and Kenny Pickett. I think you can get the same guy, if not better, at the end of the first round at Sam Howell. Mm-hmm. The knock on Howell has been, well, they weren't as good this year as they were supposed to be. Top 4 offensive weapons he had all went to the NFL last year. 3 of the 4 were drafted in the first 4 rounds. Mm-hmm. How exactly was he supposed to lose talent like that? Now he's throwing to a bunch of freshmen. They're recruiting really well. Yeah, he's throwing to 18 and 19-year-old guys that had no experience with him. Very mobile. To me, Sam Howell is what you were sold Baker Mayfield was.
Yes.
Is he a little short? Yes. He's got a much bigger arm. I think he's got a more accurate arm. And he's got a hell of a lot better attitude. We're Carolina affiliates. We know this kid pretty friggin' well. I'm telling you right now, he's the one being overlooked, and it's making me laugh more and more and more and more by the day.
Yeah.
And the Detroit Lions are a smart franchise. This would be a franchise-altering move.
Yeah. If you're new to the show, you've never seen us before, never seen me talk about Sam Howell. The one thing that scares me about him at the next level,
he likes to get hit.
He's going to have to learn how to slide.
Yeah, he likes to get hit.
Because dude takes some shots. He don't know how to slide for some reason. I don't know why they never got him some coaching with the Diamond Hills, but that's neither here nor there. Sam Howell at the 32nd overall pick for the Detroit Lions. Number 34 overall in the second round. You got a cornerback from Clemson, Andrew Booth Jr. I like this one.
Jeff Okudah is very quickly sliding into busty bust territory. This front office has no loyalty to him whatsoever. Mm-hmm. The signing of Mike Hughes is something that I like. I think you play him in the slot. That fixes that. I think Rory is a guy that I kind of like. Okay. I know he didn't grade that well last year. I think he's better than Jeff Okudah right now. I think he can be the 2. I think Andrew Booth can come and be the 1. The knock on Andrew Booth has been, I don't know how high his football IQ is, because there were some mental lapses, and I think that's why he falls in the beginning of the second round. With that being said, 6 foot, 200 pounds, ran a 4.40. Coverage skills are pretty damn good. Mm-hmm. Knock on him, he's not a great tackler. Hey, cool. There's any other fucking corner. There's just not a lot of corners that are great tacklers. If that's the biggest knock on you, and there are times that he'll absolutely light you up. That's kind of the problem, is that he always wants to lay the Sports Center hit. You got to kind of get him away from that. Good ball hawk. I think he can be a number 1 corner in the league. And if you start Drake London, Sam Howell, Andrew Booth, I don't care if you draft me in the 6th round.
Yeah. Third round, 2 picks in the third round for the Lions. 66 overall, Logan Hall, defensive lineman from Houston.
This kid's comical to me because I can't figure out what he is. Okay. I feel like, depending on the team that takes him, Detroit is one of my favorite landing spots for him because he's very big, 6'6", 280. But he's not overly fast, which scares me. I see him as an Ed Oliver type. As you bulk him up a little bit and you move him to the inside. Okay. And that's where I think he would play in Detroit. And I think he would be very good at it. Good pass rusher. Really good pass rusher. It lacks a little bit sometimes as a tackler. The physical gifts are there. The problem is he's been playing as an end, and he's not crazy fast. He's just really long. He kind of has that same DeMarvin Leal thing to me of, I feel like you've been trying to make him something he's not. And all you would have to do is bulk him up a little bit, strengthen him up, and now you have an unbelievable pass rusher from the interior.
They spent 2 pretty high draft picks on defensive linemen last year. Levi Onwuzurike and
who was terrible, by the way.
Aleem McNeil. Mm-hmm. Both those guys.
Now, Aleem McNeil plays, so the Lions play 3-4. Mm-hmm. Logan Hall would be an end in the 3-4. So he would be like a Michael Brocker's replacement. You can save a lot of money by getting rid. And to me, I don't see it. I don't understand why you're still doing that. He was very bad last year. Now you would have Aleem McNeil, Onwuzurike, and Logan Hall as your front 3 for an extended period of time with Charles Harris and Aquara back on the other side.
Okay.
That, to me, is a good start. Is it going to be great this year? No. You're going to be in a lot of shootouts. But it's young. Get them some snaps. Nobody expects you to contend for this division this year. Minnesota's better than you. Green Bay's better than you. Mm-hmm. You're building for the future. Detroit did a great job last year. I liked a lot of what they did in the draft. I've liked a lot of what they've done just transactionally. The home run start to me.
Yeah. Baby steps. take down the Chicago Bears first. Then you can worry about the big dogs in the division. With the 97th overall pick, a compensatory pick for the Lions, Quay Walker, linebacker out of Georgia.
Hyper athletic. I mean, hyper athletic. 6'4", 240, ran a 4.540. To me, he can play on the interior. You can move him around. He can play nickel. The knock on him is he is a very bad coverage guy. However, he's a great tackler. One of the best tacklers in this class.
Agreed.
And just a heavy hitter, a force, fits the Dan Campbell mindset, and would be a really good value here. The thing is that you have to know his limitations, and so you're going to have to scheme around that. To me, this makes me think that you would play more nickel moving forward. You're probably going to have to do that anyway, if I'm being really honest with you. But that's what the league's going to. You know, Patrick Graham, defensive coordinator, the new defensive coordinator of the Las Vegas Raiders, came out a few weeks ago and said, I think the 4-3 and the 3-4 are both antiquated. He's playing 4-2-5 with the Raiders, and I think a lot of teams are going to move to that.
At 177 overall, a compensatory pick in the 5th round, the Lions could go for Thayer Munford, a all Big Ten lineman out of Ohio State.
It's a depth piece. This is an offensive lineman that should not be here. Be your 6th guy, can play up and down the line. I think can play literally every spot on the line. And he's a depth piece. Does he do anything tremendously well? No. He's a really good run blocker. I think there's a potential that he could be your swing tackle in 6 lineman sets. It is really going to help you in the run game. And if anybody went down, he's a plug-and-play kind of guy. The problem is that I don't think he has tremendous high side. I don't know that he ever – I don't know if he's ever a guy that you're going to look at and go, yeah, we got it locked in as our starting right guard. No, this is, that Dakota Dozier type 6th lineman, very versatile, and to me would be a very good value here for Detroit.
The first of 2 picks in the 6th round comes at 181 overall. And Jeremy, you've got him taking Juanye Thomas, the safety out of Georgia Tech.
Yeah, if you watch the tape on this guy, it gets very hard to watch at times. Because he doesn't do anything overly well. But he is a ridiculous athlete. 4'5" at the combine, 6'3", 210. He fits into that safety linebacker. This is a companion to Quay Walker because he is not a great coverage safety. Be a great coverage linebacker. You have to bulk him up a little bit? Yeah. Yeah, you would. Probably starts on special teams. He's a project. He's a project to the highest extreme. You know who I feel really good about developing him? Aaron Glenn. I feel like the best cornerback in Jets history, not named Darrelle Revis, is probably a good player to develop somebody like Juanye Thomas.
Sure.
And worst case scenario, at this point in the back end of the beginning of the 6th round.
6th round, yeah.
It's a guy that's going to really improve your special teams. He's a good tackler, and could develop into more than that. Certainly a project, but a lot of good raw with him.
All right, a compensatory pick at the back end of the 6th round at 217 overall. Center out of Nebraska, Cameron Jurgens.
I really like this kid the more we get into this. And look, I understand that you've got Frank Ragnow, all those things. People look at offensive linemen when your line's set and go, well, we would never do that. You do realize that 30% of the league gets hurt every single year. Center is poopy. You get past the first 3, and it is a fucking wasteland. The thing with Cam Jurgens is he didn't always grade particularly well in the Big Ten. He's a better pass blocker than he is run blocker. The big, as Brian Haynes used to call him, hog-mollies, sometimes would get into his pads, and he would get moved around. He's little. He's 6'3", 290. And I know that sounds weird to say that's little, but that's little for an interior lineman in the Big Ten. He's going to need some time. This is a developmental piece, but the technique's good. There's a lot to like about him. I swear to you, and I said this on a podcast. I do enough of those. I don't remember which one it was. I said if he played in the Pac-12, if he played in the Big 12, he would have been a second-day pick. I think where he played screwed him because he didn't fit the mindset of the Big Ten and what Nebraska tried to do. And I understand that they tried to get him out in space and shit like that. The Big Ten is where the big dudes go to eat. Iowa, Think about all the players you've seen come out of Iowa or Wisconsin or Penn State. Those are typically the ones that got him. Going to be a developmental piece, but I think if you bulk him up, you could be really happy with what you get 2 or 3 years down the road.
All right, the final pick in the 2022 NFL Draft for the Detroit Lions comes in at 234 overall in the 7th round. Carson Wells, linebacker from Colorado.
I love this kid, and I'm going to level with why. Because I think he might be borderline out of his mind. This kid played like you were holding a member of his family hostage. Now, there's a good of that. There's also a bad of that. Most of the bad tape with Carson Wells was because he was a tweener and played like that. Played edge, played linebacker. He's moved around, done all kinds of things. I think he fits as a linebacker in the NFL. I think he fits into this 3-4 mindset, fits into this Detroit, this Dan Campbell, hard-nosed, what was it, chewing kneecaps? Isn't that what he said?
Yeah, biting kneecaps.
Yeah, that's what this kid is. This kid's borderline insane. Like if you gave him
he fits.
If you gave him a mental competency exam, he might fail it. And for me, that's what I want in defenders.
Right.
I want a defender that's out of their fucking mind. This kid fits. Now, is he real good in coverage? No. Because he's been moved around so much that I don't think he's ever gotten really comfortable at doing anything. He's one that you're going to have to take with the intention of he's going to be on the practice squad. He's going to be 46th man up, whatever the case may be. And we are going to dedicate you to you're doing this. You're not going to be that jack of all trades. I'm going to teach you a position, and 2 years from now, it's going to pay off for me. The tape on him, the more you watch it, the more you go, good God, you're out of position a lot. It was not a good team. It was not a good team at all. A lot of teams avoided him, and he was trying to do just too much at times. He's the kind of player I want on my football team. This kid does not like to lose. This kid's competitive as hell, and effort is not something you have to question with him.
2022 post-free agency 7-round mock draft for the Detroit Lions. Hell of a start to the draft.
This would be an A+ to me, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Drake London at 2. Sam Howell, you get the quarterback sewed up for the next 5 years at number 32. Andrew Booth, Quay Walker. I mean, that's a star-studded class that any Lions fan should be happy to have.
That is an insurgent. That is a injection of talent. And like I said, next year you can get out of Jared Goff for very little. Mm-hmm. And Sam Howell could learn a lot in the room with Jared Goff.
Yeah. Thoughts, comments, please weigh in on those in the chat.
If you like these picks, if you don't like these picks, if there's a player you would like to know how they fit with the Detroit Lions, feel free to comment those. I go through and answer those every single day. If you think, hey, that dude with the beard and the man bun's a fucking moron and I can do better, feel free to throw yours out there. I'll grade yours if you grade mine.
We cover each and every team here in the Sportsocracy. We're always in the Ingalls studio. Low prices, love the savings. I'm Tank Spencer. He's Jeremy Greene.
Yeah.
And we will see you next time.